Record. Okay, we're recording. So I'm going to talk about posting and how important not only understanding it for yourself, getting the hang of it yourself, knowing what to post, how to post, what to talk about, but it is so important for duplication in your team. It is so important to be able to walk somebody through how to get into a routine with posting, how to get their voice online, how to become active on social media, especially if it's somebody that's never done this before, right? Trying to show up and share your life on social media can be a really weird thing. And a lot of people don't know what to say. They feel like nobody's watching them. They don't know what to post. They have nothing to post, right? You just don't know what to do. So I think within our training, we do so much stuff about mindset, about your confidence, and that's so much of it, especially with posting, making sure that you are confident, that you're speaking out your story, you're talking about who you are, you're connecting with others. But I also want to show you guys there's the strategic side to it, right? On how do you teach somebody how to do this? How do I learn how to do this as a person? So I'm going to do a tiny little bit of mindset talk in the beginning, just super, super quick. And this might seem silly, but if you feel like you're somebody that struggles with posting, I want you to listen to me here. If you need to write these down, write these down. But these are feelings and things you're saying to yourself that you have to abandon. And I'll do it too. I'll say in a group chat, I'm like, I don't have anything to post. I don't know what to say. And I'll get it too. So it is a process of abandoning these feelings, knowing that you are valuable. Your story is valuable. What you have to say is valuable, no matter what stage you're in. Okay. Not everybody needs an M. Not everybody needs a Brittany. They need where you are at in your story, what you have been through, who you are. And what you have to say is important, okay? So the feelings that you have to abandon, and I have these in quotations, is I don't know what to say. I have nothing to post. I don't make money, so I don't know how to post. Like maybe you just started, maybe your income isn't X amount of dollars that you want it to be yet. So you're like, well, I can't post about the business because I'm not making money. False. I'm not a good writer. I'm not a good writer at all, okay? But I write as myself. I have very poor grammar. My team can tell you that. I put commas in places commas do not belong, okay? Listen, I'm a college dropout, but I have important things to say, so it's okay if my commas are in the wrong place, right? It doesn't matter. You are who you are. So release saying you're not a good writer. As long as you're expressing yourself, it's good, okay? It's good content. It's who you are. No one's watching. People are watching. Not everybody likes stuff. I fall victim to that. I'll be on Instagram sometimes, and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, I just passed like 20 people's posts and I didn't like a single one. Like, what am I doing? Right? Like because you're not getting X amount of likes or because people aren't commenting or doing this and that does not mean that people aren't watching you. It takes time. And I sound stupid. Okay. So those are just feelings we need to abandon. Realize that your story is valuable. You are here for a reason. You don't have to be a writer. You don't have to be somebody that has perfect grammar or knows how to say stuff or can just, whip up a 3-page paragraph to post. Where you're at in your story is what's important. So I want you to abandon those feelings. And that's what I want to start with. And I want you to understand that we are in network marketing, which I also like to call relationship marketing, but we work online, right? So if we're working on an online space and it's network and relationship marketing, how are we creating those relationships? You have to post, right? You have to share on your story. You have to engage. If you aren't doing those things, it would literally be like, hey, I really want to meet a guy, but I'm going to go to a bar and say nothing. I'm just going to sit there, which for some of us, maybe that works for you. I don't think that ever worked for me. But you have to open your mouth, right? You have to show who you are. You have to share things about yourself. You have to connect with people. So understanding that. And I think that that's the biggest question is always, what do I post? And I want you to kind of switch that around and first identify, why are you posting, right? Why are we posting? Because we bring new people in and we're like, okay, well, you need to post your 5 things. You need to do this and that. And they're like, okay, but like, what does posting my dog do? Or like, what does talking about this do? You have to identify why you are posting. You are posting for 3 different reasons, okay? You are posting to share who you are. You're posting to impact and add value to others, your friends on social media, and you're doing it to create influence, connection, and trust. Okay? You're doing it to share who you are, impact and add value to others, create influence, connection, and trust. Okay, so that's why we show up every day. That's why I post silly pictures of Molly looking full on my couch. That's why I talk about my anxiety. That's why I talk about my weight loss. That's why I talk about all these different things for one of those 3 reasons. And doing all of that together is what leads you to have connections relationships, for people to trust you because you're being open and honest about all those things. People feel like they know you. I have people in my inbox every day. They're like, I literally feel like we'd be best friends. And I'm like, I didn't even know you followed me. Like, I don't think we've ever talked before, but it's because I'm open and honest and I'm real and I let people see who I am. So you're doing those three things. You're posting for those reasons so that people trust you. They get to know you. They feel like you are their friend, and it creates relationships, friendships online. And then that is what leads to success in your business. It's not that you're creating relationships just to sign somebody up, but you're allowing somebody to have a connection with you where you then have the opportunity to be able to show them what you have and what it's going to do for them, right? So you're doing all these things. You're showing up every day and you're posting because you need connections, you need friendships, you need people in your corner that get you. And that doesn't depend on a certain amount of followers or a certain amount of likes or anything. You could have 500 people on your Instagram when you start. You could have 100, you could have 50. It's about the quality of your content. It's about who are you actually connecting with? Are you being a real person? Are you showing your day-to-day life? Are you doing these things? So all that stuff leads to being able to connect with people. And then that in turn leads to you having the opportunity to have that friendship and relationship where they feel comfortable coming to you and saying, hey, what is that business you do? What is your job? What are those products you're using? What is that you use for energy? That's what leads to that. It's establishing trust and connection. So that's why we are posting. So you have to be very clear on that. What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why are you showing up? How do you want to impact people? I want to come online and make women feel safe. I want them to know that they have a friend, that they have somebody that is there, that yes, I'm a hot mess. And yes, I still struggle with a lot of stuff, but I'm very open about it. And I want people to know that they're not alone. That is my mission when I show up on social media, that I want to connect with women and let them know that they have somebody in their corner. So how do you do this, right? How do you share who you are, impact and add value, create influence, connection, and trust? These are the different things that you share. And if you go to my page, if you go to any leader's page, these are the things you're going to see. You need to know your 5 things. You guys are probably so sick of hearing your 5 things in your oh shit list, but your 5 things are important. You need to identify who you are and what makes you you. Okay, you need to identify your quirks, your passions, the things that you love, because that's what you share, because then you find other people who like the same things. Okay, so you have to identify what makes you you and your branding with that. And I know Brittany's going to talk about branding too, but there's also that video and the team page called What Are Your 5 Things? Watch that if you haven't. And I think some people identify that and they're like, okay, well, this is my 5 things. Like, I'm a dog mom. I am about mental health awareness. I am this and that. Like, this is my job. This is my passion. But then they don't really get why they're posting it or like how to talk about it or how to do this and that. You're simply doing it because you're sharing your life and who you are. And that's what you're doing. So no, when I put up a picture of my dog, it's not going to get me a customer, but it's creating a connection with people. It's putting a smile on people's faces because my audience is other dog moms, because that's people who connect to me. When I share about my anxiety or my mental health, it's one of my 5 things, but I can help other people. It's not that I've mastered it or conquered it, but it's what makes me who I am. And that's what's going to connect me to other people. So that is who you are and what establishes connection to others. Right? So if you are a mom, like, I don't sign a ton of moms because I'm not a mom. Do I have some moms on my team? Absolutely. But they probably have a dog too. But I don't sign a ton of moms because I'm not a mom, right? Like, I'm not a boy mom. I'm not a twin mom. Like, I'm not a mom. So that may be your audience, but it's not mine. It's simply sharing who you are because it connects you to others. Okay. You have to do this while you're sharing, while you're posting. What else can you do? You need to share your day. You need to let people into your day. I know that even posting in general can feel super uncomfortable, but you just have to stop overthinking it and you have to just start doing it, because consistency will create comfortability. The more that you just show up every day and post, or you're on your story and you're sharing your mornings or something funny your kid did, or you singing in your car while you're driving, don't do the hands-free thing. Don't, not promoting bad traffic laws. When you let people in, when you show them who you are, you show them your humor, what you're doing that day, what you had for breakfast, what you read that day, oh, I'm going to work now. I hope y'all have an awesome day. Like, on your stories active, on your page active, you're allowing them to look into your life to get to know you. So that's why so many people are like, yeah, I feel like I know you, because people literally know what I do every day. If I was like, tell me what my morning routine is, anybody that follows me on Instagram could tell me what my morning routine is. They could tell me what my dog's names are. They could tell me what kind of cars we drive, where we like to go to eat out to dinner, like that Travis, like his humor, like people know who I am because I let them in. So you're sharing your 5 things. you're sharing your day. I do that a lot on my story. Story is a really, really, really big asset to this business. It allows you to take people along with you and give them a peek into your life. So it's huge. Another idea for content is sharing the things you have been through or grown through. Your story is very, very, very important. And I think that people in network marketing get tripped up because they're like, well, why do I need to talk about that? Like, it's not the product, or it's not the business, or that's not going to help me get a customer, or, nobody cares about that. Or like, what does that relate to anybody? And like I said, your story is important, and what you've been through is very, very, very important. And I promise you, if you share things that you have gone through, things you've grown through, things that happened to you in the past, things that you've had to overcome, people are going to relate to you. People are going to have gone through the same exact thing. Even if you feel like nobody's going to care, or it's not going to help anybody, it's going to help somebody. So that's why I show up and I talk about the things I don't always want to talk about. I remember the first time I really was like trying to open up to my social media. It was right before I joined this company. I opened up and I talked about a breakup I went through. And it was super embarrassing and I didn't want to talk about it. But do you know how many women were like, holy crap, I needed that? People create relationships because they know that you are in the same position as them, or they know that you're going through the same thing, and that makes people feel good. It lets them know that somebody's in their corner. So share, maybe it's a post, maybe it's a live, whatever it is, share things you've been through. That's why, today I went live on Instagram and talked about how I'm an empath and how it kind of really sucks sometimes. And I had so many people messaging me, they're like, I didn't know I was an empath. Holy crap, thank you. Like, that explains why I feel this way all the time. You think people don't need it. You think you're the only person that goes through something or feels something. People need it, and it creates that connection and that trust. So your 5 things: sharing your day, allowing people in, sharing things you've been and grown through. Another really good thing for like content ideas or posting is sharing something you're knowledgeable about or a skill set that you have, even if you think it's super silly. And there's so many different things, like whether maybe you're really good at doing your makeup, so you want to go live and do your makeup. It doesn't have to be with the products or business. And that's what I want you to get out of the mindset of. Maybe it's doing your makeup. Maybe you're a really good cook and you want to go live and share what you're cooking for dinner. Like today I went live and I talked about what was inside my fridge, and I really didn't think anybody wanted to know that, but I put a poll up and I had hundreds of people vote, and they're like, yeah, I want to know what you eat every day because you're like losing weight. That's a skill set I'm learning. Am I a nutritionist? No, I can't give like advice like that, but people want to be taught things. They want to learn things. So figure out what you're good at. Maybe it is a hobby you have. Like I said, maybe it's makeup, maybe it's hair, maybe it's cooking, maybe it's working out and exercise. Like, find something that you have a skill set in. Maybe you went to school for something. Teach, teach, teach. Okay. Always be teaching people something. It may seem silly. You may think nobody wants to know it. I did not think anybody would ever want to know what's inside my fridge. People want to know these things. They want to be taught things. And when you're teaching a skill set or something you're knowledgeable on, that is adding value to somebody. And that's really, really huge. So sharing a skill set, something you're knowledgeable in, anything like that. And then something as simple as just sharing something to uplift someone. So that's why I do post quotes. I post inspirational pictures. I post things. I share what I'm going through. If I had a really hard day, I let people know, hey, if you're having a hard day, you're going to get through it. Like little simple things like that. Post something uplifting. That's kind of what I focus on. And if you go through my page of my posts, that's what I'm talking about. My 5 things, what makes me who I am. I'm sharing my day. I'm, teaching in a way with my skill set. Like I used to go live and do my makeup. I would go to Target and do a Target haul because people like Target. I remember I ordered candles on Bath and Body Works and went live and talked about it. Like, people love to just talk. They love to hang out with you and to give value of any kind. So as a recap, that's content outside of the business. So that's your 5 things. Watch the what are your 5 things if you haven't. Share your day, allow people in, share the things you've been through or grown through, share a skill set or knowledge, and share something to uplift somebody. And with all of that, you just can't overthink it. You can't overthink it. You're maybe like, I don't know how to type this out. I don't know how to make this sound right. I sound silly. I sound stupid. One of my biggest tips is if I have something I really want to talk about, I open the notes app in my phone and I kind of just word vomit and I get it all out. Like, let's say I want to talk about like a really bad panic attack I had, or I want to talk about something I learned in my self-development that morning, or I want to talk about anything, but I feel like I don't really know how to formulate it or write it down, or I'm like, people are not going to get this. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. I just go on my notes app and I write down everything that's in my mind. It's kind of like a brain dump. And then that allows you to go back in and kind of like selectively pull like, okay, you're not speaking English there. You're not going to get that. Let me take that out. Let me reword it. Let me revise it. It just allows you to kind of edit and put your thoughts together better, because I have so many things in my head all the time. I have all this stuff to say. I want to help people. I want to talk to people, but I'm a squirrel brain. So like I could say things and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So putting it in my notes app really allows me to just like write it all out like a diary, like a journal, a brain dump, and then go back in and say, okay, how can I talk about this in a way that like people are going to understand what I'm trying to say? But just don't overthink it. Like I said, you find comfortability and consistency. So the more you show up every day, the more that you post every day. Like I said, whether it is me posting a picture of my dogs or my breakfast that morning, or sharing what I'm doing that day, or sharing an outfit that I wore that I really liked, or just taking a selfie. Like it could be a million different things. Just get on and get active on social media, and people are going to begin to follow along on your journey. So that's kind of what I do outside of the business. And that's what you have to learn how to duplicate in your downline, is just teaching them about who they are. And that sounds so silly, but sometimes people really just don't understand who they are or what to say. And I talked to a girl last night, and she's like, I just don't really like know what to post. And I literally talked to her for like a couple minutes, and I was like, like, what makes you you? Like, what have you been through? What have you gone through? Like, what are your favorite things? Like, what do you do on a daily basis? And she ended up saying, she's like, well, I'm kind of afraid to post because I was with a makeup company prior, and like I felt super spammy. And I'm like, no, but that's your story. I said, that's what you need to talk about. Like, you need to talk about your journey through that. I'm going to go into the business side of things right now, but just talk about the things you've been through. Storytelling is so huge. So whether it was a hard time, a great time, a depressing time, a time where you had anxiety, a time where you've grown from something, a big change in your life, just storytell and talk to people about what you've been through so they get to know you. But like I said, I'll scan this in so you guys can see all these different things. Okay, now when it comes to business and product-wise, what I want you to understand is that you're not a spokesperson or a spokesmodel for Le-Vel, but I still do want to know what you sell, right? I don't want to go to your page and be like, oh crap, you're selling me something, but people can't buy something if they don't know you're offering something. So you still have to make sure that people know that you have something that can help them. You can have you have something to offer them. So when it comes to posting, what you have to kind of get in the mind space of is that you're not a spokesperson for them, right? You're not hiding it. But what's important with your branding when you're talking about the products and the business is that you're talking about your story. Literally, the power to your sales is in your story. And a really big thing, and I will totally give this props, I got this from my last company, I still use it to this day. You have to tell your story over and over and over. You need to talk about where you were at, where you're at now, and where you're going. And that can be the basis to literally anything you ever post about can follow that kind of timeline. But you can do that with, I didn't realize I was talking about how you're scared of spam. That's the storyline with everything. So apply that to products, right? And a lot of people are like, okay, well, like I don't have to lose weight. So what's my story with the products? How did it make you feel? How did it change your emotional, your physical, your mental state? What has it done for you? What were your days like before you were on these products, right? It's all about your story. So it doesn't have to be a massive weight loss story or, this huge transformation. It can be as simple as like for me in the beginning, before I started losing weight, it was just that I stopped drinking coffee. And that was incredible for me. And people related to that because they're like, holy crap, bro, like I drink so much coffee a day, it scares me. And I'm like, I know, me too. I used to. So it's just sharing where you were at, where you're at now, and where you're going. So whether that is sharing your weight loss, maybe you had weight gain, maybe it is your mental health, maybe it's your anxiety it's helping with, maybe it is just you getting through the day and not snapping at your kids. It's the little things that you have to share. So it's not that you have to get on and be like, oh, well, here's my 3-step and my capsules and this and that. Tell a story. Have it be a selfie or a picture with you and your kids and talk about how you feel, because that's what you have to make people feel something, and they have to know that they can find value in what you have. They have to know like, holy crap, if she feels that way, I know that I can too. Like I used to feel how, she did before. I want to feel how she does now. So storytelling in that aspect, the where you were at, where you're at now, where you're going is huge. And that's with the business side too. So it's always a story. You don't have to be making $1 million to talk about the business side. I know for so many people, just the aspect of having a community of women, has saved them, right? Giving them that support, that empowerment. Talk about, like, for me, outside of network marketing, like, I don't have a ton of friends. I really don't have any friends. All my friends are on the like, you know what I mean? So I needed a source of empowerment, of friendships, of all this. It doesn't just have to be, oh, I made X amount of dollars. Talk about where you were mentally before, where it can be financially, wherever you were, where this business is taking you to already and where it's going to take you. That is what gives people hope. That's what brings them in. And they're saying, yes, I feel how she used to felt. I want to feel how she feels now. Right? Like, and when you're honest on social media and you share your journey, the most beautiful thing is that people see you growing. They see you evolving. They see your mind growing. People are attracted to that. They want to be around that. If you go, I say this all the time, but like, if you go back on my page a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and watch a live video, you would literally be like, I don't even know who that is. Because I've grown so much. And when people from the outside are looking in, they see you evolving. They see you, becoming more comfortable with posting. They see, oh my God, like, she showed her face on her story today and she just talked on a video. Like, she went live. Like, look, God, she's reading all these books. She has this amazing team she's always talking about on her story. People are drawn to that. They're drawn to light. They want to be a part of it. So don't think that you have to have made X amount of dollars. You can still talk about the features of this business, how awesome, our VIP bonuses are, what we have to offer, the team, the fact that we don't cold message, we don't spam people. Talk about all those things, but just put your story in it. Tell where you were at before and what it's done for you so far and where it's going to take you. And when you speak that out, people are inspired by it, by you dreaming big, by you just putting it out into the universe. So storytelling is huge with that. Where you were at, where you are now, where you're going, right? And that's all I do. I don't have to say this is what's in my bank account or this and that, or, I don't have to say, I'm a 200K every time I post. I talk about where I was at before, how I was exhausted, how I was tired, how I was struggling, how I felt like I was on a hamster wheel, how I didn't have a community that supported me. I talk about those things, right? And that's what people are attracted to. And I get so many messages all the time just about the team aspect, about how much we encourage each other and we love on each other, because people can see that on social media. Hold on. I feel like I missed something. I've been wanting to come out and talk about my story because I feel like I could help someone or multiple people, but I'm so scared and afraid to talk about it due to safety issues. Okay. So I obviously don't know the story or the safety issues. Maybe it's something that you feel more comfortable, like making sure only your friends on Facebook can see it and it's not public first. Like, that could be a way to go with that. But when it comes to, obviously not fear and safety, like, I want you to be safe, but when it comes to fear and just opening up, you just have to talk about it. I don't like getting on and talking about my anxiety. I don't like getting on and talking about how much I struggled before. Like, it was so hard for me on that post I put up the other day after we announced the pay your mortgage thing, that I said for the first time ever, I spoke it out loud, that I was literally homeless. I've never said that before in my life. I've never spoken that out. I've never put it on social media. And that was terrifying. And I didn't want to do it. But when you make it about other people and you say, okay, somebody's in that spot right now though, and somebody needs to hear this, you do it anyways. And that's what I've showed up scared and I've done it anyways. I share my stories of my anxiety. I share what I've been through. I share, that I had $70,000 in credit card debt and I had to dig quarters out to go through the McDonald's drive-thru. Like, I talk about these things, and like you guys are saying on here, it's a healing process. Like, it literally helps me to get through stuff. And I can know, like, if I had a really bad day and like I had a panic attack, or yesterday, like, my empathy was so bad and I had no boundaries and I sucked up everybody's feelings, but I got to get on today and talk about it and empower people with it. And that makes me feel good. So a lot of this does have to do with confidence, but it's acting before you have the confidence. It's getting out there and just doing it. Like, you have to just do it, and it's going to feel weird, and you're going to be like, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to say, but focus on those points, the key points I said. Say, like, you can literally write down content and write down these things. And when you wake up in the morning, say, okay, is something on my heart that I want to talk about? Yes or no? If no, okay, let me pick one of these things to talk about. Let me share one of these things. Let me reference one of these things, and just get active. Okay, get active on social media, get active engaging with people. And the more that you show up, whether you have 10 followers or 1,000, it doesn't matter. People are going to start to connect with you as you stay consistent. Okay. And as you show up every single day, you become a constant in their life. I know it sounds silly, but social media is such a huge part of our day now and a part of our culture, that you become a constant in people's life. If I don't get on my stories anymore, people are like, are you okay? Are you safe? Like, do you need a friend? Because they're like, where did she go? Because I'm that consistent. So do it scared. Do it confused. If you need help, reach out to your upline. You can be like, okay, I really want to talk about this, but like, I'm not making any sense. I don't know what to say. we can help to kind of formulate that and guide that with you, but you just have to get into a routine. Okay, I'm going to read off my last tips and then I'm going to send it over to Brittany. I wrote my tips down. I said, define what your 5 things are, why you're doing this. Like, you need to define your purpose here, what you're doing this for. When you know why you're here and you know why you're posting, because you know who you want to reach and the women you want to help, it makes it a lot easier to post. Like I said, use the notes app in your phone. Stop second guessing yourself and do what feels good. One of my new girls on my team today, she sent me a post and she was like, okay, is this good? And I said, does that feel good? Like, does that feel like something you want to talk about? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, I'm not even going to read it then. Post it. Right? I'm not here to critique what you're saying. I want you to say what feels good to you. So stop second guessing, lean on your upline when you need to until you get the hang of it. And then I said the whole consistency creates comfortability and it allows you to grow your skill set, and go live. I know it's so scary. But you have to do it. Even if at first it's just talking on your story and recording it. Like, I do the hands-free thing all the time, do that. But the more you go live, I don't care if you have 1 viewer and it goes from 1 to 0, 1 to 0, 1 to 0. We've all been there. I've done that. Okay. But you just have to start. And the more that you show your face, the more you talk to people, the more you're going to get out of it. I'm going to stop talking, sending it over to Brittany. And like I said, I will scan all of this. Okay. Good to go.
Hi guys. I'm really excited to chat with you guys. Piggybacking off of like what Em was going over, because me and her were talking today about how to make this like so like off of each other, and I wanted to talk about more of the technical side of things. Sometimes like that was where I would get overwhelmed at the beginning, or I didn't know how to do it at the beginning and like get like inspired or build my brand or my content. So I wanted to kind of give you guys my tips of what I've done to grow that content or get inspired, or the technical side of things. So for finding your brand and content, I really love embracing my 5 things. And my 5 things, if you guys don't know me, are like mom, fitness, like health, lifestyle, things like that. So when I use a couple different apps, as Em said, Pinterest is one that she uses quite a bit to get different inspiration from. Pinterest is a great tool, you guys. Let's say you're in that health, like you're really about healthy eating and that's like your niche right now you're wanting to focus on. You can find so many creative ways to talk about even like making our lifestyle shakes, for example, and posting a recipe and being like, hey, here's an awesome recipe I'm sharing about our lifestyle shakes on how to make like a Butterfinger like shake, you know? And so many people can relate to that because hey, so many of us want to find different creative ways to make yummy shakes that everyone can share. So just tips like that. Pinterest has been one huge tool. There's another app that I really like to use just to kind of I'm a visual person. I'm a very like visual learner. And so for me, like different angles on pictures and stuff were really hard for me to kind of grasp that like we're such a visual society that like crisp, clear pictures, good, like not just like a picture of a patch, like where it's not kind of like looking the best is going to really catch someone's attention unless you do it in a creative kind of influence bloggy type of way. So for me to kind of learn how to take those type of pictures, there was a lot of like critiquing, like where I wanted to get that right. So We Heart It is an app that I like to use as well. We Heart It is an app that allows you to kind of see different influencers and all their ways that they've posted pictures, different content tools and things like that. It's a lot of that candid mock photos if you're kind of wanting to kind of get ideas for that kind of stuff. Like if you're wanting to learn how to master that when you're in between, not just always posting selfies of yourself. Or let's say you're like at the park and you're wanting to get an inspired picture of how to take a good picture at the park or whatever. Just don't overcomplicate it like Em said. I really like to just embrace my day. And for me, when it comes to like posting and my tools on that, I don't want you guys to overwhelm and think you guys have to post like 10 times a day, because that is going to hurt you more than it's going to help you. So if that's what you're doing right now, I would really cut back on doing that. And it's going to be like a breath of fresh air for one. And two, you're wanting to maximize the times of the day that you feel is grabbing the most attention for your audience. And this is where you're going to kind of have to look through your profile. This is what I do sometimes because it changes. Look through your profile and see when you've been posting the most and what times you've been posting the most, and seeing if it's getting the most exposure. And I know like I'm not about like how many people like my stuff, because sometimes I'll have a lot of likes, sometimes I'll have no likes. So it's not about the liking part. It's about, I want to see who's like at least commenting or who's like getting some type of inspiration so I can see when, if maybe it's a better time to post. I like to focus at least 3 times a day posting. Everyone does it differently. If you are like having a hard time coming up with the words and the captions and stuff, and you're wanting to build up to posting 3 times a day, quality over quantity is huge. So I, like Em always says, like all of us always say, post consistently daily. Even if it's like one good, like amazing post consistently, but then show up in your stories. So if you're having a hard, let's say you had an off day, but you still want to work your business and show up to go up, stories, like I'm saying, are huge. I make my stories interactive throughout the entire day. I'll hop on Hot Mess Express even and put a filter on and talk about different things I'm up to throughout the day. I talk about what I'm cooking. I'm always posting my steps every single morning. That's just me. I feel, because I talk about my steps more in my stories than I do on my actual profile, but that's because I've built that attraction marketing where I can do that kind of now. I don't want you guys to not think you don't need to ever post about product or ever post about the business. Like I'm saying, create that culture of who you are. People are going to buy from you because of you. And so everyone can go to anywhere and buy Lavelle, like what it comes down to. But you is why they're coming back. So when Em was saying about branding and finding your 5 things, we've had this on a training before and it's always stuck with me. And it's always something that I say to my team. Branding brings people to you. Content keeps them coming back. So what I mean by that is your 5 things are unique for you. Embrace them. Some of them are vulnerable. Some of them are scary, but I promise you, like for me, I have a rocky past. And if you guys don't know my past, I've been sober for 10 years. Some people get turned off by that. Some people get like, they judge that or whatever. But when I embraced that and shared that and over how I've overcome that, it brought so much more people that have been so scared or you never thought that could have gone through that, or, wanting that outlet where they can grow in a positive environment like we have and use a product that has tremendously helped me. So, that's what I'm saying. You never know who you can touch by being you, regardless of like what you've been through. Your past is not your defining moment. It's what's going to launch you to the next highest version of yourself. The next thing I wanted to talk about as far as like when I post, because I've seen that a lot of come up lately as far as like times and stuff. Instagram and went over, but Instagram does have a couple apps that you can use. There is one that's called When to Post. That one is, I use it, but it's going to be 24-hour base. So sometimes depending on when the most traction comes, it can be through the middle of the night. So it just hit and miss on that one. For me on Facebook, like I said, I study the times that my most interaction I've seen on my like actual posts go and kind of target around that time frame. I switch it up though, but I make sure I'm at least showing up every single day, at least on my profile, morning, afternoon, and then nighttime. But at the max, I post 3 times a day. I just feel like if it's too spammy or too much. And one other tip, because I go through my team and I check on this, but because you guys, I study algorithms. It's something that I've really like wanting to embrace this year. And if you guys don't know what algorithms is, I'm going to be speaking a foreign language for like 2.5 seconds. But what it is, and pretty much boost your visibility of your profile and your interaction so that your profile is always kind of showing at the top of like your news feed. Does that make sense so far? So like when you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, the people that pop up when you first get on and you're like refreshing your page, that's because they're kind of working the algorithms or they just posted or they've been interacting on Facebook. And how you kind of maximize that is by, you can search on YouTube. There's really good YouTube videos on this if you need help with that. 2019 Facebook algorithms, 2019 Instagram algorithms. But commenting more than 4 words on a post is so huge, you guys. Not just going through and liking, but commenting as well on a post. And the reason why I say commenting more than 4 words is because how our social media is designed right now is they want to see value, not just people like and then no value being like built. Instagram and Facebook want to see people talking. like what we're doing. We're in a networking company. So this is perfect for us, you guys. We can really work this algorithms into our favor when you're building friendships. So everyone on your profile is a friend in a rented space, is how I like to look at it. My social media is not for friends and family. It is literally my business. And I know that sounds like kind of crazy, but each person on my friends list is a potential. So how I look at it is if they're not aligning with where I'm going mindset wise, like they're always posting negative, they're always posting spammy, which when I mean by spammy, and this, if you're doing this, please, this would be a good way to stop too. But sharing videos on Facebook and Insta, or well, you can't really do it on Instagram, but sharing videos and like other people's stuff is okay once in a while. But if you're constantly sharing videos and mainly videos, like is the biggest thing, like on your profile all day, multiple times a day, it is going to hurt you. It looks spammy and it doesn't look like a clean profile. Em did an amazing training on social media makeover. If you type in makeover on our search, like our Hustle and Team page, it will pop up. And it's about how to make over your profile so it's eye appealing. It's building your brand. It's building your content. And not only that, but it's going to help people want to start coming back. And if you guys need help with that, you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to help. But when it comes to kind of creating that traction, really just popping in people, Lindsay did a DMO video, Daily Methods of Operation too. And it's kind of just going through and implementing, like for me, I have a specific number I do on a daily. You don't have to do it like this. I'm a structure person, so you can do it however works for you, but making sure you're interacting with new, fresh people on your profile every single day is huge. As far as do's and don'ts, I really wanted to talk about this really quick and then I'll wrap it up because I don't want to take up too much of your time, and went over all the juicy, yummy stuff that I wanted, like that was so perfect. I just want to go over the technically things. So do's and don'ts, the no sharing thing as far as like Facebook videos, things like that. If there's a quote you guys like, let's say there's like, you see a quote on Pinterest that you guys are just loving, just save it. There's a way you can save it or screenshot it and then crop it and then share it yourself instead of going to that person's profile and then sharing, because that kind of hurts your algorithms a little bit too. And when it comes to like how I like to represent your profile, or how I like to, when it comes to, oh yeah, Word Swag's a really good app for editing stuff. If you guys need help with like editing apps, I have a lot of good ones I can send and scan in here. Somehow I forget how to do it, but I'll have Em show you. And then as far as like posting only up to 3 times a day, no copy and pasting posts. I came from a previous company, you guys, and I'm so guilty. I can be the first one to say this and own up to it. I was so guilty of this when I first came over here at first, because I was so used to that copy and paste lifestyle. And I see a lot lately kind of going around where people are copying and pasting a lot. And I want you guys to embrace you. And that's the whole point of this, is when you start to embrace you and start to like learn, hey, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of people. Sometimes it's scary, but it's okay. I promise once you go over that one little moment of fear and you do it, it'll be easier the next day, and it'll be easier the next day. And then you'll start being confident and start being more like in love of the fact that you're owning you. And that's kind of how that starts building. You got to get in the habit of leading yourself. So if you're not maybe understanding what you need to post for the day, or there's something that you're not getting really inspired of, what I do is I never post just to post. Like if I am like not really that inspired right away and I don't know what to say, I am going to get into some self-development for me, and then I'll take notes. Like Em was saying, my notes on my phone are full, you guys. Like there's sentences sometimes that like I get inspired by. I'll write a sentence down in my note. I'll come back to it like 3 days later, and I had a pick, like, and I'll be able to like create a whole like post about it because I just got inspired off of something a couple days ago. If you have, as far as pictures, you guys, I'm a very like eye appeal person. So like if someone's pictures on social media are the screenshots of your emails, or they're like, I'm going to be honest, it's just my preference. If they're Snapchat filters and it's like like as your main profile picture, and it's a cat filter or a Snapchat filter, or I don't care, a filter that has like a face on it, that's not you, I would personally change it, because it's not representing a clean brand, I feel like. And that's, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like what I would say is I want people to come to you and come back to you. I don't want you to be like everyone else on social media and just keep getting passed because your profile looks like everyone else. I want you to embrace what represents you. And if that represents you, then that's perfect. But I want you to clean up that part, like the first 5 seconds of what you see on your profile. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything as far as that goes. But as far as, and no back-to-back posting. I see this sometimes happen where you guys are like within an hour, there's 3 posts. That is going to hurt you so much. I promise you. Clean it up. Only make it so simple. Like how easy is that? Only 3 times a day at the most or whatever to be able to post and make quality posts. And people will start seeing this. I always tell my girls, you're like a blog. And then you don't, not like a blog, but if you think of your favorite person on social media or your favorite person you like to go through on their profile and you go and scroll through on their profile all the time and you kind of see how they're building value, like Em was saying, they're talking about a picture of their dog or they're talking about how they made this crazy recipe and it's so simple. Whatever it may be, you're an influencer. And it's not, the people will buy from you because of the influence that you bring. And this kind of focusing on those 5 things, and Em's training video that she did on that, on branding, or like your 5 things, is so gold. So definitely go back and watch that if you haven't. That's all I have, kind of quality over quantity, crisp pictures, making sure your pictures are kind of cleaned up, things like that. And you can search it in the team page. So if you guys have like, that is like my thing, being your best resource is like gold. So if there is something that you're struggling like with kind of and wanting to overcome and improve on, like for, let's say, attraction marketing. If you search in our team page, attraction marketing, so much gold will pop up. If you search branding, a ton of gold will pop up. If like whatever kind of topic it is, just search it or come to me and I'll help you kind of find it. But that's all I have so far.
Okay, awesome. That was incredible. To answer you, I just put in there any videos you guys need. I can also post into Court's team page. So that was amazing. And these are my last 2 tips and tricks I'm going to give. Now, like we said, don't copy and paste. Don't copy in that way. But what I like to say is if you're completely lost, if you have no idea what to post, you have no idea what to do, play follow the leader. Okay. And I don't mean go to my page and take my post. I mean, find a leader that you connect with, that inspires you, that you like their content, and bounce off of that. So if you see me on my story in the morning showing my 3 steps, okay, show your 3 steps in the morning, right? If you see me make a post about, I don't know, let's say my journey with the product, say, okay, now let me go and say what I felt before and what I feel now. If you see me make a post about, like say I did the whole empathy thing, what's something that you struggle with that you could add, like use that and then say, okay, but in my life, how does this play? Like, how does this work in my life? So see what we post on our stories all day, what we put on our page, and then you can kind of take that and say, okay, now how is this me, right? What do I talk about in my life that's like what she's talking about? You know, that context around it to make it about you, but you can kind of see like the direction we're going in all day. And I had something else. What was it? Oh, what I always tell my girls, and this is not to mean, like I said, that you need to be like any leader or you need to be like anybody on the team. But if you have a picture or you have a post or you have this and that, and I say this to some of my new girls and they're like, you know, well, is this a good thing? I always say, and Courtney makes fun of me when I say this, but it's what would Em do? If it's a picture and you're like, girl, she would never post something like that. Like, let's say it's like a graphic and it's like step 1, 2, 3, and it's like the caption. If you would not see that on my page, don't do it. Okay. And that's not to say you need to be like me, but that is to say that I have worked very hard to have a clean brand, like Brittany was talking about. So I am very aware of what I put out, and your pictures don't have to have the same filter. They don't have to look the same. It doesn't have to be the same content, but ask yourself, you know, am I putting out something that looks like I put effort into it? You know, or is this going to look like I'm selling something or something? Somebody's just going to scroll by. I just want to see you. Literally going outside with your phone and standing facing the sun and taking a selfie can get you so far, right? Like just take pictures outside with good lighting. Take quality stuff and just ask yourself, like, if it's a pre-made graphic, if it's something spammy, if it just say like, you know, when I was attracted to my leader before I joined, did I see her posting stuff like this? You know, what attracted me to want to message her, to want more info about the business? what type of post was she doing? If it has nothing to do with that, right? Don't do that. Just play follow the leader and look at the content we're putting up. Look at the lives we're doing. Look at what we're talking about and just make it you. Say, how can I make this me, right? How can I put up a post that talks about maybe the same thing, maybe something that is similar, but it's my story, right? So always you can bounce ideas off of what we're putting up. Go and look at my story for a day and see what I post, see what kinds of different lives we do, all stuff like that. So I think that is it. I hope that this was helpful. I will upload it and post it in both team pages. I had somebody send me notes, which was amazing. Thank you so much from all of this. So I will also paste that with the link. Yes, that's also a good tip. When I do my makeup, it is very far and few between. I change my shirt 5 times and I go to 5 different locations. And it's so true. Like I change my lipstick color and I will put on a different shirt and I will go somewhere else because I don't look like this is what I look like 7 days out of the week. So if I put on makeup and I know that I'm going to want pictures, or if we go out somewhere, even to dinner, like I'm going to make him take pictures of me in 3 spots and use your timer on your phone, like she said. So just put effort into it is the word. But I will upload this. I will put that product training, the notes. I have such poor brain. I'm reading that and saying something. The notes from all of this on there. I hope that this was helpful. Just get out there and start. Share what's on your heart. Share what you're thinking about what you've been through. Be the woman that somebody on your timeline needs. And I promise you meet exactly who you are. So I hope that y'all have an incredible night. And I will get this up as soon as I can. Bye.